السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Alhamdulillah. We've got 3 viewers already. I apologize as it's already 3:03, so I'm a few minutes over the starting time for our session. But inshallah today I won't take as much time as I did yesterday. These series of going over the names of Allah are meant to be quite short, about 10 minutes. So we'll cover, inshallah, 3 names in that 10 minutes. Without further ado, Bismillahi wassalatu wassalamu ala. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Inshallah, I'll try to be a little bit more interactive today. So, Brother Atif and Sister Nashwa, Ramadan Mubarak. I see the crescent moon you've shared. Yesterday we started our Husna, going over the names of Allah, the 99 names of Allah, inshallah. We covered first the name Allah, second Al-Ahad, and third Al-A'la. So these were the 3 names that we covered yesterday. If you haven't seen yesterday's video, I would please advise you to go ahead and watch that, inshallah. If you intend to learn the names of Allah, then that will give you just some notes, kind of like the prerequisites in learning those names. We have to make sure we understand how we interpret the names of Allah. And I discussed 4 guidelines or rules in doing so. And also, I discussed the source from which we are getting these names. There's a lot of difference of opinion as to what those 99 names are that are referenced in the hadith that mentions if you memorize 99, if you memorize 99 names of Allah, then you are guaranteed Jannah. So we need to understand that we have to look at the most authentic of those lists of 99 names. What are they? And so we've chosen to use the names which appear in the Quran, in the Sunnah, through various ahadith. Sheikh Ibn al-Uthaymin has compiled that list, and I also shared the book of that which we got that list from. So without taking too much time, inshallah, let's go ahead and dive right into the names that we will be discussing today. First of which is Al-Akram, which means the most generous. The most generous. Now, the name Al-Akram, mashallah, we have to understand it to mean that there is no one who is as perfect as Allah is in His generosity, as Al-Akram is in His generosity. So His generosity is that any being can have, whether it's the creation of humans or the animals showing generosity to their offspring. So He is perfect in His generosity, first and foremost. There's no one more generous than He is. He's also generous in a way which it's perfect in the sense that whoever deserves anything, excuse me, whoever deserves anything of His generosity through virtue of his own, goodness and actions and deeds and intentions, then Allah will give in a way that no one else can give to that person. At the same time, He's generous to those who are not even deserving of His generosity, whether it be the disbelievers or those who engage in evil. Allah still provides for them as well, right? So the understanding is that He does so with the wisdom, right? So he knows what these people will be facing in this life and in the hereafter as well. And many times He displays His generosity in ways which are conducive to those who are benefiting from that generosity to come back to Islam, or to come closer to Him if they're believers. So this is just a few notes on how we can understand that generosity. And also the word al-akram, it doesn't necessarily only mean, or it's not limited to meaning generosity and giving. Rather, it can be understood as goodness in and of itself. So al-akram is the goodness, the kindness. So these types of qualities and characteristics which Allah bestows upon His creation, all of the khair, it's from His generosity. It's also from His goodness, which is al-akram. So moving on to the second name that we want to discuss today, inshallah, is al-ilah. And the meaning of al-ilah is the one who alone deserves to be worshipped. Why we say that al-ilah is the one who deserves to be, the one who alone deserves to be worshipped, is because the prefix al, when we have anything that's prefixed with al, it means the. So while you have, in the Quran, it talks about the mushrikeen, they have aliha, which means gods, right? So al-ilah is essentially a singular form of aliha, but in addition to that, it implies that there is no ilah worthy of worship other than Allah, and that's also part of our kalima. La ilaha. So al-ilah here is mentioned, and then it points to Allah. And Allah, another interesting point here is Allah. The strong opinion is that it is derived from al-ilah. So when you say Allah, you are actually saying the proper name or the proper noun, which is derived from al-ilah. And it's quite evident and obvious even in the pronunciation of the name Allah. So we talked about how it means that al-ilah points to the fact that there is no deity worthy of worship other than al-ilah, the God. It's derived from Allah, or Allah is derived from al-ilah. And with that, we understand that the name also possesses all the qualities and characteristics, all the divine qualities and characteristics in their perfect majesty of Allah Himself. And Sheikh Ibn al-Uthaymeen had mentioned, and I'm going to read it here to you, that the word Allah is a proper noun referring to the Lord. May He be glorified and exalted. Its root word is al-ilah, but the word is contracted to make it easier to pronounce because it is repeated so frequently. The word ilah refers to the one who is loved. It refers to the one who is loved and who is to be worshipped out of that love and veneration. End quote. So with that, inshallah, we've got a couple more minutes, or a little bit less than that. Let's talk about the third and final name on our list today. It is al-awwal, the first. Allah is al-awwal. It means that there is nothing that came before Him. There is no one that came before Him. Everything other than Allah Himself, al-awwal, came to exist only after not existing. It means that essentially it was a created thing. But Allah, He is above time. He is time, He's not affected by time. Rather, He's above that realm of time space. We know that He's above the heavens and the earth. So while we, in our limited capacity to understand how something can be out of the realm of time, we need to understand that Allah is. And so with that being said, He is the first and He is also the last. And that's something that we will discuss, inshallah, in a future series. So with that being said, we'll end for today, inshallah. Jazakumullahu khairan. We've got some more join. I'm just trying to go through the list. I just want to acknowledge some of my brothers and sisters. Shubham says stop. Inshallah, no, we will not stop. We will, inshallah, continue to go through these names so that we can learn them and benefit, and so that Allah may be pleased with us. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. See you all inshallah tomorrow at 3 p.m.